At the interview bar with me tonight, a senior attorney at the Institute for Justice, specializing in First Amendment, property rights, and economic freedom. He's defended the right for you to put a for sale sign in your car window, and he doesn't want the government to seize your home to build a shopping mall. Two amiable traits. And he likes Coors. Please welcome Jeff Rose.
All right.
Hello,
Thank you.
Jeff.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure, and thanks for coming. And also, because of some internal confusion between the Institute for Justice and the Justice League of America, we accidentally double booked this segment. So please also welcome my second guest, The Flash. He drinks vodka Red Bull.
He doesn't have my physique, but it looks pretty good in red.
Yeah, not bad.
Thanks, guys.
Sure.
All right, Jeff, what is the Institute for Justice?
Well, we are the nation's premier libertarian nonprofit public interest law firm. And so what that means is we represent people from all over the United States for free in constitutional suits designed to protect their rights, their right to economic liberty, property rights, the First Amendment right to free speech, and school choice.
So if I have a complaint against something that's going on against me, I can come to you and plead my case?
And you can see if we'll take your case. I mean, the fact is, we're not legal aid, so we can't take every case that comes to
Sure.
us. But what we're looking for are those special cases in which someone is really doing what Americans have always done, which is stand up to injustice. And if that's the kind of case that we can take all the way to the Supreme Court if necessary, set precedent to protect everyone, that's what we do.
So I have a few examples of injustices that you are currently fighting. Why can't I sell my bone marrow?
Well, under the National Organ Transplant Act of 1984, Congress made it illegal to compensate someone for an organ. What they did is they actually included bone marrow in the list of organs, and that was really crazy, and I think they should know what they were doing. Bone marrow is really just renewable cells like blood, and you can pay someone for blood. Thousands of people die every year looking for bone marrow, and so we brought the first ever constitutional challenge to this federal law, and right now it's hovering just one level below the Supreme Court. We actually won in Federal Court of Appeals, and the defendant, Attorney General Holder, is now seeking to get that reversed in front of 11 federal judges. We don't think that's going to work, but this case might be up in front of the Supreme Court next year.
So Holder's against this? I mean, he's against being able to sell your bone marrow?
Yes.
Why? Because it seems to me, I mean, I understand maybe selling a kidney is strange, or, you know, something that could be, I mean, it's a kidney.
Like, a kidney doesn't grow back.
Right.
Let's put it that way, and it takes invasive surgery to get it.
Right.
But you can get bone marrow now straight out of your bloodstream,
Right.
and they're just loose cells. It doesn't make any sense.
So if I wanted to incentivize people to donate bone marrow and I offered them $10, $15, $20, I'm committing a felony.
Oh yeah, you can go to jail for 5 years, and not just you. Doctors, nurses, the donor, basically anybody who's involved in this is part of a criminal conspiracy, and that just doesn't make any sense. People shouldn't go to jail just for wanting to save other people's lives. And you know, this case is an example of vindicating the rights of people to make decisions for themselves and their children when it comes to life and death decisions.
You agree with that, Flash?
Yeah, yeah, I do. You know, I've been trying to sell my bone marrow. My bone marrow is expensive, though. No one can really afford it. It's
Well, it's
about
super.
10 grand. Yeah.
I mean, and let's face it, your bone marrow would probably kill just about anybody that it got put into.
I mean, their legs would run right off their body.
Yeah. But I mean, the fact is, the Flash actually has it easy because all he has to do is defy the laws of physics.
Right.
We've actually got to win in federal court and beat the government, which is harder.
And a government that's fighting back. They don't,
Yes.
They're not going to care.
A law firm called the Department of Justice that has
Sure.
60,000 lawyers.
Heard of them.
Yeah.
All right, another case. Monks in Louisiana trying to sell funeral caskets or burial caskets. Can't.
Right.
Why?
Well, the answer is both simple and emblematic of what's so wrong with America. All the monks want to do is sell these wooden boxes that they make by hand. They've been doing it for 100 years to bury their own brothers.
These are simple pine caskets,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, nothing special. You don't even need a casket to be buried. The casket serves no purpose other than just kind of holding the body, making it look nice. So funeral directors in Louisiana decided they don't like to compete with anybody. Casket's a big ticket item, so they get a law passed that says you have to be a funeral director to be able to sell a casket in Louisiana. The Constitution doesn't let the government prevent you from earning an honest living just to make someone else rich. And so we are right now going up on the Federal Court of Appeals to defend our victory in the trial court, which says that the monks, like any entrepreneur in the country, should be able to run a business, and really you only have reasonable government regulation that pertains directly to health and safety. This isn't it. It's unconstitutional.
So this sounds like a case of the government getting cozy with the cartel
Yeah.
that makes the funeral
Right.
cartel. And
And this is basically the problem that entrepreneurs run into across the country, which is that for every stupid law, there is someone out there behind it who's getting rich. And that's the reason why we've lost so much liberty, is because it gets shaved off piece by piece over generations, and you discover that there are all of these laws that are designed just to make special interests rich.
How do you feel about that, Flash? Strong, isn't it?
Good. Yeah, this is strong. It's a strong drink. I feel like, I tried to open my own personal, I tried to open a line of gyms, and Bally's just squashed me, because they said my elliptical machines, didn't meet certain requirements.
They also started out at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a problem.
So I was just shooting people straight out the window into the parking lot the
Liability
second they got
issues.
on it. Yeah.
But, we could get you a good deal on Caskets for your customers, though.
That would be amazing.
Just not in
Yeah.
Louisiana currently.
Right.
But hopefully we'll fix that. Another case, civil forfeiture. This is Massachusetts, where I'm from originally. The police department is trying to take somebody's motel.
Yes.
Why are they doing that?
With the help of our friends in the U.S. Department of Justice.
Okay.
Well, so here's the thing. You have a family that has run a hotel for 2 generations, paid for it free and clear, but, the world's sort of changing, and, like a lot of businesses, they cater to people who are sort of on the lower economic end. Well, it turns out that, every now and again, they've sold 125,000 hotel rooms, and 0.05% of the time, there's apparently been some kind of criminal element.
Okay.
The owners of the hotel have done everything they can to help the police, but the police have decided, that's a criminal nexus. We're going to seize everything that you've worked for your whole life. We take your hotel. Not that you've done anything wrong, but that wrongdoing has occurred here. So we're just going to take it. Anywhere else that would be called theft.
So this is an adaptation of the laws that can impound your car if you are found with drugs in your car, and now this is kind of expanding, mission creep?
And actually expanding under really what we call policing for profit. Massachusetts actually passed some reform law that said you can't just walk in and take somebody's stuff, especially when there's no real evidence that they have any connection themselves to criminal activity.
Sure.
So what they're doing is they get the federal government to seize it, because the federal government doesn't have any of these protections, and then the federal government pays them back, the local police, 80%. So not only are they doing something inherently wrong, but they're circumventing Massachusetts law. And policing for profit is out of control. If you look at a good example going on right now is in the city of Nashville. The 23rd Judicial District has a drug task force. This is all war on drug stuff. 90% of the drug interdiction work on I-40 is on the roads leading out of Nashville. Only 10% is leading into Nashville. Why is that? Well, the the drug task force gets all the money they make off of forfeiture. If you seize cars going into Nashville, you get a car full of drugs, which isn't worth anything.
Okay.
You seize a car coming out of Nashville, you get a car full of money.
Okay.
And so that's why they do all the work on that. And police departments shouldn't be run as for-profit institutions.
How do the odds look against these cases? Let's take the bone marrow. How does that look?
These are the legal equivalent of putting a man on the moon. Frankly, the way the Supreme Court has set up constitutional cases and the rules that are in place make it almost impossible for citizens to win. We're determined to win because we're on the right side. But the fact is, they're really hard to win. The bone marrow case, I'm thinking, I just believe in us, so I think we're going to win. I'd give you 100% odds. Some dispassionate person looking at it, they would give you less.
Okay.
But we won so far, and we plan to defend it.
The pine caskets?
Pine caskets, this case, looking at it on paper, a lawyer wouldn't take it. I'm thinking we win. I give us 90%. Civil forfeiture, same deal. You want to go up against the Department of Justice and the police that are in cahoots with the Department of Justice, your basic odds would be nothing. But I think we probably have about a 75 to 90% chance of winning.
Flash, how do you feel about this?
I'm thinking about going back to law school right now. I feel like I've been wasting my time just running when there's people that actually need help out there. I feel pretty stupid.
It's nice to have the ability to run fast.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But, sometimes when a superhero like this meets a superhero like this,
Right.
they want to go to law school.
I understand. And you also you do Ironman. I saw in your bio.
I do Ironman triathlons,
things like that.
Yeah,
So
rock
you're kind of
climb.
feeling bad about yourself right about now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Also, you got honors from Harvard, right?
Harvard Law School.
Harvard
yeah,
Law
that's right.
School.
Can you top that?
And
Flash?
you know what? You're originally from Canada.
Yeah.
So you come here, you just like American law better?
I am like generation upon generation of Americans who actually came here, like any other immigrant, thinking that this was a great country and that Americans believe in freedom, and I married an American, and I want to defend the U.S. Constitution.
And you, Flash?
Yeah, same story, kind of, except without really a lot of that success. But yeah, you know, my life, this is, I'm glad you double booked me here. I'm starting to rethink a lot of things.
All right. Well, do you have a website, Flash?
Yeah, it requires Flash Player. So make sure you download that before you go there, and it's just flashyflash.com.
Flash. I assume it doesn't work on Apple devices.
It doesn't work on really anybody's computer. So we're trying to work the bugs out on that, yeah.
And Jeff, from the Institute of Justice, you are ij.org.
That's right.
Is your
That's
website.
right,
Okay. Jeff Rose, thank you very much for coming
Thanks.
and having a drink with me.
You bet.
Flash, thank you very much for coming. And I'm
Cheers,
sorry,
guys.
sorry we
Cheers.
made you feel bad. All right, then. That's all the time we have for this week's episode of the BS of A. Thank you to Jeff Rose for coming by from the Institute of Justice, for Justice. Institute for Justice, and Flash from the Justice League of America. Join us next week for a brand new episode. Until then, good night, America. We're the best. Are we the best?
We're the best.
All right.
Better than the best.
Yeah, better than the best.